So we got a new Claude model release, Fable 5, and I'm sure you saw a lot of very exciting tutorials about how it's able to create Minecraft from scratch, create Pokemon games, all sort of different animations. But today I want to focus on something a little bit different, which is how is this affecting business operators or people that actually use AI on the day-to-day basis. So for me, the important things are actually three. First off, how the model actually runs, how much it actually costs, and then how the model scales itself, which is probably one of the topics that no one has focused on because everyone is focused on viewing benchmarks and cool use cases, but not actual real business use cases like we do here in this channel. So if you're interested in really understanding how to use AI practically as a business, feel free to click on the subscribe button. So with that said, the first topic here is how long the model actually runs. So if we look at the release page here, they mention that the model is able to run for days. Here they mention that the model is capable of actually running for multiple days or full days when given a specific task. Now, in coding, when we are talking about code or when we are doing stuff related to coding, this is something that might seem really somewhat easy to do because coding is something that we can always verify once we execute. And so if we ask for something like build Minecraft or something else like that, the process of doing something like that, it's something that you can execute against every single time because you can check what is the output looking like and compare against what is the expected results that you have. Meanwhile, for business use cases, we don't have this kind of verification element. So that actually means is that we cannot clearly mention what is the element that would verify a goal as achieved or not achieved. An example could be I created this video doing a full research on the market, understanding different angles and understanding what was my angle based on my context as well as the different things that are around the market. But the concept of that and the concept of finishing this, it's something very subjective. So when do you can say that something is actually finished depends really on what you define. So the length of how long we can run a specific task really depends on what we actually specify into the verification and how we prompt the actual model. So all of this to say one single thing is that this model is capable of running very long processes, but in order to do that, the way to do that is simply to give them a very clear criteria of what counts as done, even in tasks that are business tasks, where the definition of done is not always well defined on our end. So, for example, it could be a YouTube video is done when it finished recording, but in other instances, creating a marketing campaign and having a good enough output is not something that we defined before. And so, a lot of the stuff related to that comes down to having a clear definition and provided enough context on that. On the other side, the next element here is about the cost of the model itself. So the model costs 2 times the previous model. We can access this through the subscription till June 2023. And so you can use the model till that time. And after that, essentially, what will happen is you cannot use the model anymore, and you can only use the model using usage credit. So usage credit is essentially the price that you would pay on the API rates, which is effectively $10 per million input tokens and $50 per million output tokens, which is effectively the double of the cost that you would have on the other side. So this model is pretty expensive, and keep in mind that the cost of models will go up and up over time. And so the important thing here is understanding when this model can actually be used and when is the right time to use this model in your specific processes so that you don't waste any kind of money, especially if you are running this kind of thing when you are using the usage credits. So I think this is a really important component that needs to be that needs to be mentioned here. Also, on another note, which might be relevant for any kind of enterprise plan or people that have sensible information, is that right now everyone that uses this model has a 30-day retention policy that is handled by Anthropic. So effectively, any kind of prompt that you do with this model has a 30-day retention policy on Anthropic, and this is not actually a good thing for any kind of enterprises or any kind of company like that. So yeah, that is the second theme. The last element here, and this is something that I didn't see anyone talk about, is the scaling of the model. So when the model was released, another tweet that was created was one from the creator of Claude Code, mentioning that right now what you can do is you can spawn nested subagents. Now, this might seem a really small kind of thing, but it's something that would suggest first off the capabilities of the agent when it comes to doing long tasks, and the second thing is the ability to run multiple sub processes from nested subagents, which was not something available before, because what we needed to do is we had an orchestration agent, we had one main agent, and then we have multiple subagents, but we couldn't create the subagents out of subagents. Um, and yeah, so this is something that can really scale processes and help you break down processes in smaller chunks that would allow you to actually add a new layer of output quality to the processes that you have. I showed some examples in the past in this channel on orchestrating patterns that can be used, and this is another advancement in that specific area, because orchestration will become one of the most important kind of thing. Now, all these different things are very, very interesting, but as I mentioned, at the end of the day, they all come down to you have more power, but then you have a big cost that you need to sustain in order to manage that additional power. And the problem with that is that it all comes down to judgment, actually. So this actually means that you can use this model. This model is really, really good when it comes to like the output that you can get, the quality of the results that you can get, the quality of processes and code that you can actually get. I actually almost maxed out my max plan in order to test this out. But the important thing here is when you want to use this model for any kind of business task or business process, uh, always make sure to use this model only for relevant kind of processes which require additional thinking. And so if you have some processes where you couldn't handle those before, using this model right now and try to give the problem to this model could be the right output, but try to use this only for some set of tasks. So I think that the planning itself could be something where this model could actually be more and more used. But after that, you can outsource the execution to a less costly model. And these are the really important things that we need to start thinking about. First off is thinking about which model to use based on the right job, which was something that we actually forgot, because we tend to use the best possible models such as Opus and just use that. Right now, the costs are rising, the subscription era is finishing, and so we need to actually understand which is the right model for our specific job, and then select the specific model for that. And then the second thing, when it comes to actually building processes that are repeatable or even programmable, and I'll show a couple of videos specifically related to that, is watch out what is the output like, and understand what are the different elements of the output by establishing some kind of observability engine. I will explain more also about that so that you can see about that, but those are to me the most important things that I noticed from this model, which are not actually available from the benchmarks, are not available from looking at a cool Minecraft clone or something like that. But it's more of what we need to think about when using this model in the future. So yeah, that's everything on my side. Quick update video. Hope you like that. If you're interested in more videos like that, just comment down below. If you're interested in this channel, just subscribe, and catch you soon for the next video. Bye bye.